Hello everyone and welcome into another video, and I just want to talk about this real quick because I saw this picture right here, the screenshot of a thread and from Spectrum, and I actually wanted to go to Spectrum and check this thread out for myself. So I went and I tried to search for the thread and I could not find it. This is the only image of this thread that exists, and already we can see down here that this has been moved to feedback by moderation. So what is this post about? This is actually about what happened during day 3 of the IAE show. This says Master Modes 2.0. So a few days ago, Yogi clarified in A1's Discord what CIG was saying in episode 3 of the IAE show. 1, nav mode will be deleted. Number 2, SCM mode will be the only mode where you can move freely and use your thrusters. SCM mode will have the same speed ceiling as before, around 250 meters per second. If you want to fly faster, you can't. You should only use quantum boost for quantum travel for distances greater than 20 kilometers. Quantum boost does not let you move freely. You point in the direction you want to go and you accelerate more and more, so you can cover the distance between 20 kilometers and 10,000 kilometers. What this means for the game: freedom of flight is officially off the table. You either fly at snail speed, super slow, below supersonic in space, or you get transported on rails. Racing is off the table without nav speeds or tricording. This game loop is absolutely unplayable. General flight becomes boring as hell. Have fun flying out of atmosphere at 50 meters per second. Dear cargo haulers, that's true. Combat stays as bad as it was after 3.23. No changes planned to tricording or raising speed ceilings. The game officially deleted the only good gameplay, flight. I had a lot of questions about the changes that they were making to the flight model, right? And I have to tell you guys straight up and just being honest with you, I do not like these changes. It just seems like they are hell-bent on making this more of an arcade experience. And that is the only reason why I can see them going in this direction or taking this route. It literally makes no sense. Games like X4 right now are using John Pritchard to change their flight model and make it so much better than it is before. And it seems like CIG is just going worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'll tell you guys one thing. If X4 figures out a way to make their game like multiplayer and host it in their own servers, I'm probably going to start playing that. Because for all of Star Citizen's faults, prior to 3.23, the best thing about the game was the flight model. And I tell you guys this all the time, and I say this all the time. Listen, the best thing or what Star Citizen is actually about, this is a game about flying spaceships. That is unequivocally true. And if you think that this is a game that's not about flying spaceships, I argue with you and I implore you to show me how you can play this game without flying a spaceship or having someone else fly you in their ship, or they fly you in your own ship. Tell me how you get anything done in this game without that. And I say this because I truly feel the flight experience should be the core experience of Star Citizen. And I've also said this before, and I've made this comment before many times on my live streams. So if you guys are interested in watching the live streams, I implore you to come and check it out and hang out with me, and we have amazing conversations on my live streams. But I said that the point of this game, to me at least, like during those times, was to go and fly the different spaceships, because it felt like when you bought a new ship in the game store, or you swiped your credit card, however you want to do it, there's no judgment. When you did that, it was like unlocking a new character, because no two spaceships, unless they were variants of one another, flew exactly the same, right? So, a Connie flew very differently from a Corsair. It flew differently from the Hercules. The Hercules flew differently from the Caterpillar. And all of these ships had very unique characteristics to them where you can be like, okay, this is how a Crusader ship flies, right? This is how RSI ships fly. This is how Drake, or I already said Drake, this is how Anvil ships fly. This is how Aegis ships fly. Each manufacturer had their own unique style of flight. And what they've done with the archetypes is they've made everything kind of the same and mushy. Like there's no individuality with the ships anymore. Everything is just bland. It's really like you went to a buffet and they had like all the food and it was all seasons, all very great. And they just took all the seasoning out of the food and they're just eating something bland. It's just like, well, it's not good, but I can get full off of it, but it's not good. And this is exactly where the flight model is currently going. It's going into a place where it's not going to feel good. And with games like X4, as I've said, that is redoing their flight model, and hopefully they can get some, some multiplayer going. And you have games like For the Stars on the horizon as well. And they've already said that they are not going to have a slow flight model. You're going to be able to go really, really fast. And they want high-speed combat in their game, which for right now to get signed, like For the Stars, I'm not sure because it's going to be on console as well. So there is a lot of that too, right? But at least what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the flight model really, really good. And it seems like CIG is going in the opposite direction. And they're essentially telling us like, oh, and Rich Tyra just like lied to our faces, right? Where he said like, oh, we like high-speed combat. If you like high-speed combat, then give us high-speed combat. You know what I mean? The idea of the nav not the nav drives, but the quantum drives being the reason that you can go fast in nav mode is now going away. Then like, what was the point of you making any of these changes to begin with? All of it just feels like you're throwing shit at the wall and you're just seeing what sticks. And I hope with this news that players continue to vote with their wallets, and I hope that players just be like, look, man, either you make this flight model fun or we're out. Like, stop with the noise. Stop trying to gaslight us. Stop trying to tell us, oh, quantum boost and everything else is going to fix it. No, make the flight model good. You had a flight model that was going in a good direction. Okay. I would have liked to see what they would have done, something differently with weapons. Myself, Avenger 1, Scarred, everybody that I've talked to, I don't talk to Avenger 1, obviously, but we are all basically saying the same thing. Make fighters have to engage at 1,000 meters, right? And tie that directly into the power plant because it can't produce enough energy for the weapons to go beyond this range. It's a very simple concept, right? If you do this, what's going to happen is no longer are you going to have the light fighter meta where light fighters can just simply go around and just attack ships at range anymore. It won't happen, right? But if you do that, you have to allow the fighters enough movement to avoid being shot. So you add actual skill-based gameplay. And for the love of all things good, the thing that you actually have to do, CIG, is make a tutorial for your flight model. If you are not trying to make a tutorial for your flight model to explain the core game mechanic that exists in your game, you are failing yourself and you are failing the players, your customers. Players are not dumb. If you have a game mechanic and you explain it to the player base, they usually pick it up. Tricording isn't difficult to do. There's just nowhere that you can actually learn it in the game. And most people don't want to go on YouTube to look up a video or join the Discord to get into a PvP thing so they can learn how to do combat. It is your job as the game developer to explain your flight model to people. That is it. This is literally your job to do that. And you failed at your job. And now what you want to do is you want to make flight so boring and so slow that no one's going to want to play this game. Like, we already have to snail fly to places. Like, it's crazy. And the idea of having to use quantum boost to go places because we're going to be locked on rails and we can only go in only in one direction. You're not giving us options. You're taking all of our options away from us. And then you're telling us that it's better. No, it's not better. Get your heads out of your asses and make a good flight model for the first fucking time, please. Or else your game is going to fail. And that is the truth. And I don't know who else needs to hear this. I don't know who at CIG needs to hear this, but it's time you guys hear the truth and stop putting your feedback or stop putting threads like this in your feedback thing, because you don't want people to see the truth about what you're doing to the game. Let people see this. Why has this been in feedback and now it's a thread that's essentially been deleted? This is absolutely crazy. You're literally making your flight model worse. I don't know if you guys are trying to close up shop. You want the game to fail because you can't produce what you say you want to produce with 1.0, and everything is just conjecture and all this other stuff. We're all adults. Your average player base is like around 30. We're older. We're an older gaming player base, or an older gaming community within Star Citizen, right? Just talk to us like we're adults. No more word salad, okay? None of that. Just make sure that the flight model is good, because it is the core of your game. If the core of your game is not good, it doesn't matter what you do with anything else. Nothing else literally will matter. Crafting won't matter, base building won't matter, space stations won't matter, capital ship gameplay won't matter if you don't fix your flight model. None of it will matter. CIG, fix your flight model. This right here, what we're seeing, this is not it. This is not going to get the job done. I don't know what else to say. If this is true, I'm probably going to be walking away from this game, guys. I'm being honest with you. I'm being so serious. This could be the end of Star Citizen, this next iteration of the flight model. And as always, let's have a discussion about it down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.